Susan Smith, convicted for killing her 2 children in infamous 1994 case, is up for parole. Smith was sentenced to life in prison, escaping the death penalty. While in prison, she has had a record of violations, including engaging in sexual activities with officers in 2000. Almost 30 years after being convicted of rolling her car into a South Carolina lake and drowning her 2 sons, Susan Smith is up for parole. The 53-year-old Smith is serving life in prison after being convicted in 1995 and escaping the death penalty after a heavily publicized trial. Her 2 children, Michael and Alex, were 3 years old and 14 months old, respectively. Under South Carolina law at the time, Smith is able to ask the state to be released after serving 30 years in prison. The South Carolina Department of Probation, Parole and Pardon Services announced Monday that Smith's parole hearing is scheduled for November 20. The hearing is set to be held online, with Smith joining from prison. The lead prosecutor in her trial, Tommy Pope, told that Smith should not be granted parole. "I believe in truth in sentencing for everyone, and I think the sentence should be exactly what it was, what the jury rendered, which was that she would spend the rest of her natural life in prison," said Pope, who is now the Republican Speaker pro tem of the South Carolina House. Pope confirmed that he and the boy's father, David Smith, plan to testify in front of the parole board to argue against Smith's release. Pope believes Smith has not felt remorse for the killing in the almost 3 decades behind bars. "What I would want to relate to the parole board is that Susan Smith has not been thinking of Michael and Alex," he said. "Susan Smith has been focused on what's best for Susan, which has clearly been what she has done from day one in committing this crime." An internationally known case. Smith became infamous in 1994 when she said her car was stolen late at night near Union, South Carolina. She said that an African-American man took her car with her 2 children inside. For 9 days, she made pleas asking for the return of her 2 kids, but it was later revealed that both her car and children were at the bottom of a nearby lake. She subsequently confessed to fabricating the story and letting her car roll down a boat ramp and into the lake. She had led people on for so many days, that their hearts were poured out to help find Michael and Alex, Pope said. "So with that context, I was the solicitor, the district attorney, and made the decision to seek the death penalty." The case also happened around the same time as the O.J. Simpson trial, another media frenzy. Smith has had a record of violations inside prison. Smith has gathered a long list of violations inside prison. These have drawn disciplinary actions from the South Carolina Department of Corrections, reported the Greenville News. How does the parole process work in South Carolina? In order to be granted parole,